Liam, are you still at work? You are way late now for the plans that we had.
What? You and I made plans for today?
You're kidding me. You forgot about what we're going to do? Today's your daughter's birthday, right? That's why we made plans for the three of us to go out to eat and celebrate it.
What? That's what you're going on about? I never forgot about my own daughter's birthday.
Well, Lonnie is still out with her friends and hasn't come home yet. So if you start coming home now, we'll still have time to get her and go. Hurry up and please get here so that we can go surprise her. We'd planned for this to be a huge surprise for her.
And I made sure to get off work in time to surprise Lonnie with something. And that's why I've taken Lonnie out with me to somewhere special for her birthday. She's a special guest for today, so right now she's stuffing her face with only the finest cakes and food that I can get her.
What? What do you mean you took her to somewhere fancy? Wait, are you both eating dinner together?
I'm here with Lonnie as well as my girlfriend having dinner for Lonnie's birthday. I wanted to make the both of them happy, so I made sure to reserve a spot on a dinner cruise down the river. Lonnie is so happy now after getting to come on this boat with my girlfriend and I as she eats some of the most delicious and fancy foods ever.
Wait a second. I never heard anything about you making plans for a dinner cruise. And what do you mean by your girlfriend? Who are you both with right now?
Well, like I was saying, with my girlfriend. With my cute and loving girlfriend as we both celebrate my little daughter's birthday today.
What did you say? Your girlfriend? Have you been cheating on me? And you brought that woman with you to your daughter's birthday dinner? What the hell were you thinking, Liam?
This is what Lonnie asked for. She told me that she wanted to spend her birthday with my girlfriend and I. She said she didn't want to go out with you anywhere.
What?
Oh, and there's one other thing. My present to Lonnie this year. She asked me to divorce you as a present for her birthday. So I got our divorce papers all ready and filled out for us. When I get home tonight, I'd like you to sign your parts and then we can go hand them in.
Excuse me? Lonnie really asked for something like that for her birthday? She asked for her own parents to get a divorce.
She told me she didn't want to live in a household with a parasite that gets in our way anymore. If you're hated that much by your own daughter, you failed at being a mother.
A parasite? What about me has been parasitic?
Everything about you, Jenna. When you chose to be a housewife, you chose to be a parasite that would latch onto your money-making husband.
What?
Yet even though he was taking such good care of you and everything, you always went around acting like this respectable mother figure to both myself and Lonnie. That was so annoying. We both had no other choice.
Huh? Excuse me?
Lonnie is much more into my girlfriend now thanks to your horrible character. She even told me that she'd rather have a mother who was working for a large company like my girlfriend than you. Actually, my girlfriend is an office lady working for a very large company and praised as one of the best employees there. Her and I are making the same. No, wait. And she's probably making way more than me now.
You're telling me that your girlfriend is someone as amazing as that?
When thinking about Lonnie's future, my best option is to end things with you and marry my girlfriend. I want for Lonnie to become as amazing of an adult as myself. Therefore, in order to make that happen, it can't be having a mess like you around her anymore.
You're calling me a mess now? I became a housewife because you asked me to, Liam. You told me that you wanted me to start using all of my time to take care of Lonnie and the house while you worked. I had to give up the job that I loved while crying. For you.
Is that what happened? Well, either way, Lonnie is older now and in middle school, which means she no longer needs a mother in the house all the time working as a housewife. Jenna, you are no use to us anymore.
What the hell did you say?
Now, while we're still out of the house, get to work packing all your things up. When we're back, you'll sign these papers for me and then get out of my house.
Understood. Now I finally see why you and Lonnie have always been treating me like garbage. And frankly, I'm over it. So if Lonnie is now asking for us to divorce, then fine, I'll divorce you. Which means this is goodbye forever, Liam. I hope the three of you have a fun dinner on that cruise. Hey, this is amazing, Mom. I never thought that you would become the CEO of that popular brand Pravda. No matter what store I go to, there's your name on all the products. What? Is this Lonnie? What kind of reaction is that? Don't tell me you forgot about your one and only daughter. Well, it's been 5 years since we last saw one another, and since then you haven't said anything to me. Yet now, for some reason, you want to talk again? Well, I want to talk now because you're the owner of a very popular brand. I was shocked when I realized that was your name on all that clothing, and that's why I wanted to text you. I'm not joking when I say that I was taken over with surprise when I saw just what a woman like you could actually do. Does this mean you went and read all about me as well online then? I seriously did not think you would succeed as much as you have after leaving us. Actually, you didn't leave us because it was Dad that tossed you out for my birthday. So I assumed you would never be able to recover from that. Thinking that you were just this brainless housewife the whole time, you really outdid yourself owning a brand like Pravda. Huh? Hey! Since we've started talking again, let's take the chance to go out to dinner together. I want to hear all about what's been going on with you, Mom. I want you to tell me how you came into owning such a popular brand. And when you come out to eat with me, can you bring me some of your newly designed clothing? I want to try on all the new things you've made. I have no reason to go out with you for dinner, Lonnie. You can stop calling me your mom as well now. Huh? What's up with you now? Can't you see that your lovely daughter is finally getting back in touch with you now? This is the first time we've talked in 5 years, so don't start with me using that cold attitude. And what exactly makes you my lovely daughter? You were the one that asked for your own mother to be kicked out of the family on your birthday. I heard some rumors about you all, by the way. Your dad got married to that woman, right? If the three of you are having a fun time now, living as a brand new family of 3, then there's no need for you to be talking to me anymore. So that's what you're mad about. You're jealous because Dad found someone else far better than you to make a family with. But you don't have to get upset over it. That woman and Dad already got a divorce. What? Is that right? That woman, the moment she got married to Dad, her whole identity pretty much changed. Before, she was this really cool woman who loved her job and everything, but the moment she got married to Dad, she started to go on about how she wanted to stay at home, and she went on this tangent about how she'd wanted to be a housewife ever since she was a little girl. And that's the reason for the divorce? That's right. Dad is a nice man, so of course he was going to give her the chance of being a housewife. And that's when him and I both learned that she not only sucked at doing the chores, but her cooking tasted like plastic. Then anytime we'd warn her to get things under control, she'd flip. She told me that a child who does nothing but sit around and get spoiled has no right to talk back about how the cooking tastes and the chores are done. That's why Dad and her got divorced before even a year went by. That was a quick marriage then. Your dad made it pretty clear to me that he loved her and the both of you chose her over me. And now we are both very regretful about saying that to you, because we made the wrong choice and picked her. Our family is all screwed up. So now we're both having to live life like we don't have any money, because Dad needs to save a bunch more. What? But your dad should be more than capable of taking care of himself and you on his income, right? He actually makes some decent money, if I'm remembering that correctly. Actually, Dad chose not to take all those promotions he'd been offered before. He talked about how that woman he was with made more than him, so there was no reason for him to put in any effort at work. So now he's just working as a simple man, making a simple salary from the company. But the only problem is, because he gave up almost all of his responsibilities from before, he's only making around half of what he once was. I see. So that's why you're talking with me now about my work and all. You ended up the owner of that brand because you wanted us coming back to you, right? Well, everything went right as you planned. Huh? The reason that you went and took over that brand is because you wanted Dad and I back in your life, right? You had always been made fun of for being a parasitic housewife all those years and got kicked out of the family for it. But now that you're making more than Dad, you can come right back to our family, no problem. I I know what you've been wanting, Mom, and that's why I'm here. What are you going on about? I never once thought about wanting either of you guys back after I divorced your dad. I became the CEO of this company for myself, and I want to live in a world now where I don't ever have to remember you guys again. I can see you're not opening up to me yet, but I suppose that's what happens after not talking to one another for 5 years. I'm sure you're just blushing after hearing me say you can come back into the family again, right? Also, Dad and I are planning to come move into your house soon. Move into my house? You guys think that you can just come move into my house? Well, as a family, we should all be living together, right? I had a look at an article written about you, and in it, you said you're living in a high-rise apartment, right? No way. But I'm not wanting to change schools just to move all the way downtown. And Dad doesn't want to have to increase his commuting time any by moving out to you. So you know what? Let's find a new house closer to us. How about we all go out for dinner soon and talk this out? Anyway, for right now, I'll have $500. $500? Wait a sec. Why are you talking about money now? Well, we may be a family again, but we're not legally a family yet, right? So, as a way of being a very kind family-like stranger to you, we'll be coming out to have dinner with you and talk about a brand new house for all of us. So, if Dad and I are willing to start treating you like family again, you should be fine with giving me a small bit of money, right? Huh? You own a brand now. So you have to be making a good amount of money, right? So when we go out to have dinner together, make sure you bring your newest fashion for me to try on and $500. You'll finally be getting to spend time with your family again, so that's a very reasonable price to be asking for, right? I have a husband and child now, so no thanks. What? I'm not paying to go out and have dinner with 2 strangers. I already have a family now, and I love them very much. So much, in fact, that having dinner with them every night is more than enough to make me happy. Wait just a second. What do you mean you have a husband and child? You got married without us knowing about it? I got married last year, around this time. And before we got married, I became pregnant with my then boyfriend's child, so we decided to tie the knot. I ended up giving birth to our baby not too long after we got married, and now the 3 of us are living together as a happy little family. Huh? What the hell? I have no idea what you're talking about. Why would you even get married without asking us first? You've had us the whole time, right? You thought I'd still want to stick around you both after you guys kicked me out? I was left with nothing but my own life after you guys got rid of me. So why should I have had to ask you guys for permission for anything? You and your dad are strangers to me, so I had nothing to do with you both. We are not strangers to you. Even if you got divorced, you are still our family. What's that? I have your blood in me, Mom, and I'm your daughter. I'm your one and only daughter. So what the hell do you think you're doing having a child with someone else? I am not your family, Lonnie. I am only family to 2 people, and that's my husband and my baby boy. Now you stop calling me your mom, or else you'll be embarrassing us both. What? The moment I was divorced, I started to work for Pravda, as they were a company and brand that I really loved. And actually, they were the same company your dad forced me to quit from after having you. I had a dream of continuing a career in this company, but your dad cut it short and I had to put it on hold for you both. But years later, you guys betrayed me and kicked me out of the life you forced me to have. So now I'm back where I started, only this time I'm putting in the effort to show you guys what you lost. And right now, my husband is helping me make sure my dream is fulfilled, all while letting you and your dad know I've always meant business. Also, now I have a son with this man, and I love both of them with every inch of my body. What the hell? I just started to get back in touch with you. Don't start talking like your life is all amazing now just because you have the money now. Especially when you were nothing more than a brainless housewife. I'm sure that brand is going to fall off soon enough and you'll lose everything.
I heard everything from Lonnie. Are you freaking kidding me? You married another man? Why would you not come back to a man like me?
Huh? And who the hell do you think you are talking to me like that? Why would I ever want to go back to some crappy man who's cheated on me?
I'm no longer seeing her anymore. So you can forget about whatever happened back then and come to me. I want you to marry me right now. And if you don't want that, then at the very least give us your home.
Huh?
Because I went and divorced you, you were able to become the owner of that brand, right? In other words, because of me that you succeeded. Since that's the case, you can give me that house right now.
Are you really thinking something like that, Liam? That is so ridiculous that I'm not sure I can talk to you anymore.
Shut your mouth. I'm getting Lonnie, or we're coming there right now. You either give us that place right now, or you clear out a room for us to stay in there.
Sure, if you think you can manage here. Actually, go get that brat and come see what happens when you come here. But just know that after my husband's had his way with you, the police will be here to clean up the mess.
Excuse me?
I'm sure you think you're all tough now, but when my 6'10" husband is towering over you with his favorite baseball bat, don't start screaming like a bitch. And that's if you can make your way past the security of this building. That will be your first hurdle. Don't make it too obvious that you're trying to break in, because the police HQ is right across the street from here. If one of them sees you trying to force your way inside, they might come and arrest you right then and there.
You're living over by the police HQ? That part of town is insanely expensive.
I wanted to make sure that I rubbed it in your face that my life is a lot better than yours now without you in it. I made sure to work my ass off using my anger towards you and made loads of money because of it. And thanks to all of that, I now have a life that most women would only dream of having. When it comes to my husband, he's an amazing father. He's also 9 years younger than you and is built like a machine.
You're lying, right? You married someone 9 years younger than me?
He may be younger than you, but he's actually got his crap together and acts like he's far more mature, too. Now, you take care of that brat for me, please. I'm nothing to her. Not her mother, not her caretaker. Please, Mom! Please find some way to forgive Dad for what he did. Tell the police to let him out of jail, to come take care of me. There's nothing I can say to the police about him. I gave him a warning, yet he didn't bother to understand it, instead coming here to try and break into this apartment building. The only people that can tell the police to release him would be the company which owns this building. And unless that happens, you won't be seeing your dad for some time. No way! I never thought he would be so upset by the fact that my husband is 9 years younger than himself. He made it sound like he was going to kick my husband's ass and take me back. He even started saying he was more attractive than my husband and had more money. Not sure I'd say that when your dad gained another 70 pounds after divorcing me. When I looked down at him from the balcony to see him dragged away by the police, his belly was hanging out and scraping against the pavement. That's not his fault! Neither him or I know how to cook. So once he divorced that other woman, he and I have been eating a bunch of takeout. So you both have just been gorging yourself on fast food then. You're in high school and should be more fit than anyone else, right? I know that! I'm still only in high school, which means if Dad doesn't get released from jail and come back home to me, what am I going to do? How am I supposed to pay for myself and college after I graduate? I'm supposed to be going to college next year. I don't care what happens there, Lonnie. How about you start working a part-time job? You're in high school now, which means you can take on some shifts after school, right? What? Why are you being so cold to me? Shouldn't you be helping your daughter when she's in this kind of trouble? You're not my daughter, though, which means I don't feel anything when hearing about what self-inflicted trouble you're in. You can't say something like that, Mom! Hey, I'll apologize for everything that happened in the past, and I'll apologize to you for what I was saying the other day. So please, can you at least take me into your home now? I want to live together with you, Mom. So this time you're tossing your dad out. All you seem to care about is helping yourself and nobody else. I have no other choice right now. If Dad can't come back home to me, then I won't be able to support myself. I totally understand that you hate my guts right now, Mom. I know that I've done so many bad things to you before, and I'm sorry about that. But I am still the daughter that you carried for 9 months and gave birth to, right? Which means there is no way your heart will allow you to abandon me, right? I'll tell you this one last time. You are not my daughter. The only child I have right now is a cute little boy. No way, Mom! You're not going to help me then? Remember that I'm a brainless housewife? And that means I'm no good at helping other people because I can't even help myself. Don't you think the same thing? No, that was just... Have a good one, Lonnie. I'm sure for a little bit, things will be lonely and hopeless, but all you have to do is wait for your dad to get out of jail. The only person you have left is your dad, so you have no other choice, really. A few weeks after having been placed in jail by the police and awaiting a trial with the owners of the apartment building, Liam was allowed to go back home for a bit. However, he was told he had court dates he had to be back for, and that he was not allowed within 1,000 feet of the apartment building he tried to break into. A few weeks after that happened, the judge decided that Liam would be forced to pay over $50,000 to the apartment building owners for damages to the front lobby and threatening the desk lady. When he finally paid that settlement off and was allowed to go back home without having to worry anymore about the police or court dates, he was able to go back to work. But by that point, the company already decided to lay him off, and so he was left with no job at all and a daughter he still needs to care for. Right now, he's trying his hardest to find a new job, all while working third shift at a gas station close to his house. When it comes to Lonnie, who is in need of money to start paying for college next year, she's been going right to work after she gets out of her high school classes and works until 12 a.m. She's also working on her weekends from morning until night, all in order to save as much money as she physically can. She's asked over and over again for her other family members and friends to help her with some money, but not one of them gives in, instead telling her this is what she deserves. When things come to myself, I've been doing well both with work and at home, living the kind of life I'd always been dreaming of. I also have a loving family surrounding and supporting me, so I've been making sure to give it my all as well, to keep us all happy.
I just got to my parents' house. I think you should be able to make it to the funeral on time. So just don't wonder about what I'm doing and make sure to be with the rest of the family there. I made sure to bring along your funeral clothing as well.
Thank you, Bruce. Once I've made sure to finish telling everyone in the office, I'll be on my way there. Had my business trip have been closer to you guys, I could be there in an instant. But this time...
You had to go somewhere completely different this time, which is pretty unlucky. And to think that my little brother would get into a wreck.
Is Holly going to be alright? She still has that very young child to deal with, but now she's going to have to take care of them all on her own. I'm sure she's a wreck herself right now, right?
And about that, I feel really bad about her having to be all by herself.
Of course, because she was just made a single mother in an instant. So she's even worse off than just being a poor thing right now. Honestly, she's in the worst place imaginable for someone in her shoes at that age. I think we need to make sure that we're there for her to support her and her kid.
Thank goodness you're thinking the same thing as me then.
Well, of course that's what I'd be thinking. She may be my brother-in-law's wife, but she's also happens to be like a sister to me, and one that I love very much.
Due to the situation that we're all in now, I want to do everything I can to support her like her husband would have.
Hold on a second. Are you thinking of really taking his place by earning money for them now as well as such?
Since he's no longer there for them, I need to be the one to take his place, right?
I'm sorry, but you mean that you'll just be helping out from our house, right?
Unlike you or I, Holly has 2 kids that she's having to take care of now. They're going to need a papa, right?
Well, the both of them are still pretty young.
For only Holly to be the one at home with them and all the time taking care of them, that would be like hell, right?
I'm aware of that.
So I was thinking that in place of my brother, I'd step in to take care of those 3 like he would.
And when you say that, you mean just a supportive brother-in-law, right?
That's right. I have to be there to support them financially.
That makes more sense. Your brother was living with your parents along with his family before he passed, and was the one paying all the bills, right? Now that he's gone, he's kind of left your mom without anyone as well now.
And, well, after having just passed away in that accident, is it going to be things like the cost of the wreck, the car insurance costs, his health insurance costs, the cost of the funeral, and so much more, right?
That's true.
I just heard that his wife will be getting $200,000 from his life insurance. And as for that other driver, a lawyer will be with her to help her out a bit. But considering that he was 100% at fault for that wreck, there's going to be a ton of money coming from him very soon.
Did Holly tell you all about that?
No, this is what I heard from my mom.
So she hasn't talked with you at all about all of those things yet, right?
No, she is not. And?
She is most likely going to be struggling from the shock of what's happened for a while now, so please do everything you can to manage the financial matters.
I'm doing my best. Since she's not able to think about anything besides her dead husband and kids right now, I'm going to be managing it all for her for the time being.
Okay, but just make sure that as the older brother, you take good care of them. However, don't get in the way of their more personal matters, please. I would like for us to only be helping her out with the things she needs help with, like the financial stuff and maybe her kids. But make sure not to go overboard with anything, please.
I'm telling you that I'll do my best. Now I have to get things ready for the funeral and everything. When you know the time that you'll be arriving at the funeral home, let me know.
Will do. Holly, I'm so sorry for leaving so early, but if there's anything else you need from me, please let me know. I'm sure that things will only get more stressful for you, and with you having the kids around still, I want to make sure that you don't overwork yourself. Reina, thank you so much for saying that. I have really been freaking out about how I'm going to handle everything on my own now, and it's been a really rough week so far. Having you there at the funeral really made me feel a little bit of hope. And as for my husband, who went out there saying he would be helping you out, didn't do a damn thing. So, I'm really sorry about that. Also, him saying he wouldn't come home with me and would be staying there with you all. Bruce seems to still be very worried about myself and the kids, and that's why he's wanting to stick around. Well, if he ever starts to become a problem for you, let me know and I'll come get him. I want you to complain about anything he does that pisses you off, alright? I'm not really sure if I should be saying something like this to you, of all people right now. What's happened? If you're really worried about something, please tell me. Because of my work, him and I were never able to go back there to live really close to you at all. And that's left just you and your husband having to take care of their parents in the house. So if there's anything you need my help with, please let me know right away. No, wait. You have always taken great care of us, even if you always can't be here at the family house. Things like making those meals and everything for us to warm up and eat. And in the past, you've let us borrow plenty of money from you. And when it's come to my kids' presents, you've really gone all out. But that's all I could manage in the past. So is there something you need from me right now? Actually, I'm being talked to about getting remarried already. Getting remarried already? Is it our mother-in-law talking to you about that? Both Bruce and her, actually. Huh? Bruce too? They told me that I have 2 kids to take care of now, and that we'd need a husband and a father. And, well, they followed up by saying some random man being part of the family would be good for the kids. So they both told me that Bruce should become my new husband. What? Not about my husband supporting you guys in his brother's place? How can I say this? From the way things sounded, they want me to marry Bruce now. Huh? What the hell? So you've known about none of this then, right? No freaking way. They're both going to talk with you about something like that when your husband only passed away. I am so sorry. Wait. Are they going to talk with me about this next once I get home? Just a second ago, they came back here with marriage paperwork. No freaking way. I had no idea what to do when they did. And since my husband's gone now, if I weren't to marry someone like your husband, they would kick the kids and I out of this house, right? But they happen to be my late husband's kids as well, so they would take them and kick me out of the house, right? Knowing that woman, I'm sure she'd be saying scary things like that. Just for my own sake, I want to confirm this with you. How are you feeling about all of this? I am so very sorry, but I really can't be asked to be around your husband right now. I've always really hated him, and now I feel you. And now I have a better idea of the situation at hand. The reason I had been always asking you to come here and help me and never your husband was because of how much I really dislike him. But I was never sure you picked up on how I felt about him. However, it seems you really do understand what I mean by not liking him. So this means you don't want to get remarried to my husband at all then, right? You are still his wife for crying out loud. So the fact that they were talking about that with me, I really wonder what has gotten into those people then do something like that to you. Bruce handed me the marriage papers, even though you guys aren't divorced yet, and told me to start filling my parts out. He told me that he'd be divorcing you really soon though, so it was okay for me to do. So he really does plan to leave me. I want to ask you something else now. What would you like to do next? I don't think I can live here with our mother-in-law anymore. Now that my husband is gone, I was thinking of leaving this house with my babies and living somewhere, just the three of us in peace. Understood. Allow me to take some of this into my own hands. Thank you so very much, Reina. I'm almost home now, so I'll talk to you once again I'm settled down. I have something to ask you about, Bruce.
What's that?
I heard that you were talking with Holly about getting remarried. What are you planning on doing?
You've already heard about all that. You already know what I'm planning to do since I've told you about that before, right? I'm going to be taking my brother's place.
So that's really what you were talking about then. Alright. Although I'm not going to say that I agree with what you're doing. You're literally causing issues for a woman struggling with the loss of her husband right now.
Causing issues? I told her that I want this marriage for her sake. She happens to be in love with me. So being able to remarry a man like me must make her very happy.
You think that Holly is in love with you right now? Are you drunk?
You really are such a dull idiot, aren't you? Have you not been able to tell what's been going on based off of the way she reacts to me? When I was back at my parents' house again with her, she would always look over at me, and she'd leave distance between us on purpose because she was embarrassed by seeing me again. It feels like she's gone back in time and is having her first crush on me like a kid.
I want to congratulate you for taking things so far off the rails like that. The real reason why she made it so much distance between you and her is because she doesn't like you.
I just told you you're being really dull about all of this right now.
I'm telling you that she doesn't want you around, and that you forcing her to talk about marrying you is really troubling her.
Those kids are going to need a father, and she's going to need a reason to be allowed to live in my parents' house. She's also going to need someone to take care of the money for her. Look at that, I'm needed by her, right?
What are you going about now?
I think she'd be better off having someone like me as her husband than someone she barely even knows. I happen to be her late husband's older brother, so we share the same blood and everything. And considering I'm the older brother in this family, if she gets married to me, she'll be allowed to continue living in this house. And if all of that wasn't enough to seal the deal, she's going to need someone who can take care of all that money she'll be getting from things like the life insurance and from that man that killed my brother.
I don't want to even think about this being the case, but are you only wanting to get married to her for the money that your brother is leaving behind?
Let me just say, this is something that my mom is also wanting me to do.
You didn't answer my question.
She's always been upset about the fact that her older son hasn't had any kids yet, and that's left her worried about us as a married couple.
Answer what I asked. And if you've been wanting to have kids like your mother's been wanting, then why did you never ask about it?
Well, Holly already happens to have 2 kids now, and since you aren't even pregnant yet, she's the obvious choice, right? My mom is also happy about having her older son back home, and I'm happy about having some more money at my disposal. So you and I are getting divorced, and I'm getting married to Holly next. And then after that, I can have even more kids with her with all the money we'll be getting.
So, that really was your reason for wanting to marry her. You're just in it for the money she'll be getting, and not for what you were telling me before. The role of supporting and caring for her. So then, that means this divorce paperwork that's been left on the table for me, all filled out, is the real deal?
I've already signed my parts and everything, right? Once you've divorced me and let me free, I'll be able to get myself a lot of money. I need to marry my brother's wife now, so divorce me, please. I don't need you in my life anymore.
I'm taking it to the courthouse right now.
See ya, you old bitch. Although I think you being thrown out at your age means there's no hope for you anymore. By the way, that house is no longer ours. So get all your things together and get out of there by the end of this month. I'm moving back into my parents' house now, so you can go ahead and have all the savings we had together because I'll be getting close to 20 times that amount after marrying Holly. I'm going to be getting some really big money. Ha!
Are you sure?
But don't expect anything else out of me. At your age, you'd better appreciate that as my farewell gift to you, okay?
Don't worry. Allow me to take all of that money and get out of your sight for good, okay? I can put it all to good use for something like a honeymoon trip, you know? Like how a wedding is celebrated with the honeymoon after. I'll celebrate this divorce with the same kind of thing, overseas even. I'm not going to have a massive event or anything for it, but I will at least celebrate it like the kind of happy occasion that it is.
Celebrate the divorce?
Due to the fact that I'll finally be able to cut ties to both of you and your mother, who has relied on me so much. I'd like to use some of the money to take myself on a trip overseas or something close to that to celebrate.
Well. You seem to be more happy about this than I am.
I promise to get all of these papers in today, and I'll be out of this house in no time. Considering we had to go through a death in the family in that funeral, it may take me a bit of time, so please give me a month like you said. And before I'm gone, I'd like to take this trip. How about a 3-day trip to Florida so we can enjoy the beach?
Understood. I'll go tell my mom about this.
When I've found what resort we can all celebrate at, I'll give you another text. Thanks for everything, and goodbye forever.
Do you have any idea where Holly and the kids went? My mom and I just got home from the trip and we can't seem to find them or their things anywhere.
Holly and her kids went back to her parents' house.
What? They went back to her parents' place?
While you guys stayed in Florida for longer than the rest of us, we came back here and I started to help them move out of your parents' home.
Hold on a second. Why would you do something like that? What about the marriage papers? What about her and I getting married?
That was never going to happen to begin with, you butthead. All of that was just inside your mom's and your head the whole time.
Don't tell me that the trip you planned for all of us to go on to celebrate this divorce was all meant to get us out of the house so that they could leave?
Thank God you guys chose to stay that long. I was worried about you wanting to either come home with us or not go on that trip at all. But instead, you all stayed longer, while the 4 of us were able to get back here and grab all of Holly's things. Now I can finally forget about you. Like, seriously, your brother just passed away and you were already going on about marrying his wife and taking all their money? As well as divorcing me and kicking me out of the house?
But you said that the trip was to celebrate the divorce and everything, hence why we all went with you.
If you really cared about taking care of Holly and her kids after getting married, you would have been focused on that instead of coming with me to celebrate, right? But you really are only focused on the money, so you'd never think about the family of a recently deceased father and husband, right?
Are you kidding me?
Do you even know where her kids are going to preschool right now? Do you even know about their everyday routine and such? About what they both like and what they both dislike? Do you know about any of those things? If you really wanted to marry her and take care of those 3, then you would have been asking about all of those things day one. Especially as a man who has never taken care of kids before yet.
I planned on learning all those things later on.
You really think you can be acting so laid back right now when Holly and her kids need the support right now?
It's the wife's job to take care of the kids in the first place, right?
God damn. Thank God I never had any kids with you then. I don't want to have a family with such a careless man as you.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Letting Holly and her kids go back to her parents' place like that. We haven't even gone and handed in our marriage papers yet. Right now she's ignoring all my texts and calls.
I told her to block you.
You told her to block me?
She never had any plans of getting married to a monster like you, Bruce. And she's working on cutting ties to all of your family right now as her husband is no longer around. That means that you and all of her family are strangers to her now.
What are you talking about?
She is working on ending all ties to you guys now that her husband has passed away.
She's really going to leave us like that? Hey, what about that money? What about the money that she'll be getting from my brother?
Holly and both of her kids will be receiving that money.
Hold on a sec. That's not good for me, though. I've already planned our trips to Hawaii to stay at 5-star resorts while flying first class, and pre-ordered 2 new supercars thinking that I'd be getting all that money.
Jesus Christ. So you were going to take a grieving woman and her kids to Hawaii with you after all that's happened to her?
Not at all! I planned on bringing my girlfriend. Her and I have been planning this trip to Hawaii out for half a year now. I was expecting this money to come to me eventually, and that's why we planned out a really expensive trip to there, as well as bought all kinds of really expensive things with our credit cards. I've already promised her that all of this is going to happen, so there's no going back now. I've been going out to see her for 2 years now, and 6 months ago I was finally able to land her with the promise of all these things.
Your girlfriend, who you've been seeing for 2 years now?
Hold on a second. Forget all that.
So you've been cheating on me.
What are you talking about?
You were talking about how you plan on marrying your dead brother's wife so you could get all of that money. But your real reasoning behind all of this was because you have another woman you've been cheating on me and you need to buy her love? So this has all been for your girlfriend. Alrighty then. I'm finally starting to understand all of it now. You told me for so long that we never had enough money to ever have kids or anything, and that you didn't want any. Which is strange, because I had been working a ton and had so much money saved up for us. But I get it now.
No, wait, you're wrong about that.
Since I fixed a problem Holly was having with you, it's now my turn to fix this mess. Now that you've confessed to cheating on me, I'm going to do everything I can to squeeze every last penny out of you.
Hold on, Reina. I thought that I'd be getting more money. I've already used up what money I've had. Also, you and I are divorced already, so how will you be able to get that settlement from me?
Just because we're divorced now doesn't mean I can't still get a settlement for the damages you caused.
Okay, I get it. I have an idea for how to fix all of our problems here. All we have to do is get back together.
Are you that screwed in the head or something? Because what you just said makes no sense at all.
I only left you thinking that I'd be getting married to Holly, but since that's not happening now, I'll get back together with you. So let's get married again. And you'll be able to live with me at my family's house. I'll be able to get my mom to do all the chores and cooking for us even. You'll finally be able to focus all your attention on work, right?
My workplace happens to be close to 3 hours away from your parents' home. Did you forget about why we never moved back in with your parents in the past?
We can make something happen there. Anyhow, let's just get back together. Then we can put a lot more thought into everything.
After all the crap you pulled here, you think that we can just get back together like nothing ever happened? How about you marry that woman you've been cheating on me with?
That's still impossible, actually. Her and I aren't really that close to one another yet. Unless I can prove to her that I can get her everything she wants, she probably won't marry me.
So you're wanting to get back together with me so that you can continue to buy her more things. Alright, that's a fat no from me.
Don't say things like that. I don't have any more money.
You said this is all about Holly, and that you've said this about me. Besides money, what else do you see women as? Once I've had a talk with my lawyer about you, I'll send you the official documents stating how much you owe. If you have any problems with the amount I'll be asking for, please, by all means, go and complain to my lawyer about it. We are divorced now, and I don't have it in me to deal with a filthy trash like you.
Please, Raina, please help me out here. Please get back together with me. Raina? If you don't help me, then my girlfriend's going to abandon me.
After that, I was able to get a massive settlement from Bruce, and things ended just the way I wanted them to. In his fear of losing the girlfriend he worked so hard to get without having the money to, Bruce still kept his promise to her and take her to Hawaii, and went into some insane debt doing such. Even now, he is still continuing to make his debt worse, and worse, all so that he can stay with her. And recently, he's been getting into arguments with his own mother about whether they should sell the house or not, so that he can pay off some of that debt. Marina, I've done it. I was just proposed to by my boyfriend. Really? You really have gone and done it then, Kiara. And you told him that you'd love to marry him, right? Well, of course I did. Mac is making bank right now as a doctor after all. Him proposing me after being together for so long is not something I could ever say no to. Well, congratulations then, Kiara. As your older sister, I'm very happy for you. Seeing someone who used to be so small getting married soon really does make me emotional. I'm almost at the point of crying now from thinking about so much. It's too early to be crying about this. He only just proposed to me and we still haven't gotten around to handing in any of the marriage documents yet. I guess that's true. So, if you guys are engaged now, that means what comes next is everyone talking about the wedding, right? You can bring him over anytime to talk about with me. Well, about that, actually. I actually happen to have some pretty important stuff to talk to you about. Oh? What kind of stuff is that, then? When it's been confirmed that him and I are married, can we cut ties to one another? I don't really want you around me anymore after that. What was that? No plans of showing Mac to you either, actually. Well, I've actually planned all of this out now and haven't even told him a thing about you yet, which is kind of why I can't have you coming out of thin air now to meet him. Wait a second. Not only do you want to cut ties to me, but you also haven't told him anything about me existing yet either? Why? Our parents passed away a long time ago, and since then it's just been you and I being the only two members of the family left, right? That's a good point. To me, you're like my third parent, right? In place of mom and dad, you have always been there this whole time raising and supporting me. And you were so close to graduating from high school, but you dropped out anyway to start making all that money to support me. You were 18 years old at the time, and already having to taste the world for what it is. For my sake, you threw your own life away. I had to do what was necessary for my very important sister. I feel that I did a good job raising you, and I have no regrets about what I've done. You always love being such a hypocrite. After all the trouble you've caused me, you sit there not regretting 1 second of it. Your sly attitude really does make me chuckle a bit. What? Did you really think that this whole time I've been thankful for what you've done for me? I'm sorry, but I feel the exact opposite, actually. You ended up leaving school with no education at all and had to start working as a whore. You have been a complete embarrassment to me this whole time, and that's what made me hate you. Is that right? This whole time I've been dating Mac, I felt nothing but worry. I was thinking that if he found out my older sister who worked as a whore existed, he'd throw me away. I was worried that because of you, I'd never had a chance at marrying a super rich man. Literally, this whole time I've been on edge thinking about all of that. And that is why, after I'm wed, you and I are done. Once I am married to a doctor, you being part of my past is a complete pain for me that will weigh me down. You really don't need to talk about me like that. I have been taking my life very seriously and have done everything I could working for our sakes, also that I could raise and support you. Yet you calling me an embarrassment now? All so that you could raise and support me? What is this all about? I never once asked you to do anything for me after mom and dad passed away. What? You choosing to raise me and sell your body like that were both choices you decided to make. So stop acting like I have to repay you for any of those shallow and unwanted favors. I literally don't have any appreciation towards you and all that you've done. I'm not asking you to thank me for any of it. But hearing that you really don't appreciate a single thing of what I've done does shock me a little. I get having a bias against working in a red light district, and I really feel bad for having to do that to get by. But Kiara, do you really want to cut ties to me after you're married? I have no problem at all with saying goodbye to you forever, and the only option I see is cutting you out of my life. I feel that there is a high chance that both my man and his parents are against selling one's body like that to the public, and when it comes to the world at night, there's all kinds of trouble going on. I don't even want to think about what would happen if that trouble were to catch up to you, and you got all of us wrapped up in it. That is why I'm cutting ties to you, is both the cleanest way of doing this and the easiest. But this year is my last year of doing things like that. I have a lot of money saved up now, and I'm planning to open up a business of my own. I know what I'll be able to do to make this place a hit, so wouldn't me being a business owner be alright with you? You said you'd open a pub or something, but you're going to be opening it in a red light district, right? That means you'll be working in the exact same place serving the exact same dirty men. And I'm guessing the only way you're going to get any customers is by working behind a counter with your top off, right? Well, I guess in terms of the location I've chosen, a lot of customers will be men. Then that really means the only choice I have is to cut ties to you. The person you are as a whole is embarrassing to me, so I have to. And if my doctor of a fiancé was to find out that you are a whore, everything would be over for me. Okay then, goodbye forever. And don't you ever act like a member of my family again. I'm going to delete your contact as well, okay?
Excuse me, Marina. I'm sorry for trying to talk with you on your day off, but could you please hurry and come to the pub right now? The police are here, and it's become a huge mess.
Did you say the police are there? What the heck has been going on over there that the police had to come and get involved in?
There's this customer in the place that started to go crazy, and they started to cause so much trouble that the police had to come and get involved. Because of them, a lot of the windows in the pub are shattered.
So they've gone and completely torn up my pub is what you're saying.
I'm so sorry. I take full blame for this one. I was the one that made that customer upset, so please make me responsible for all of this after we get it cleaned up.
Do you mean you were the one that made them upset? I just climbed into a taxi and I'm coming over there now, but I need you to start explaining all of what's happened to me right now.
The customer came in with a girl from another place close by to here. I'm pretty sure they just finished having sex and all. That man looked pretty off to me as well as the girl. And, well, that girl started to ask me in a very rude manner about some private information, like for people's contact information and such. She also started to invite me out to go have fun with her. And, well, things started to then really hot between those two once the man came up to the counter, and they started fighting. I then went and tried to break things up, or at least get them to leave the store.
And that's what got them upset with you?
Correct. The man was very drunk coming in, and couldn't seem to stand up straight on his own. And not only did he start to get physical with me, but he was getting physical with the girl as well. I tried to push him out the doors with the girl, but he took another swing at me, missing my head and smashing the door. And then he just became even more angry and started destroying all the windows.
I see. I guess that was enough to where the police had to get involved.
I am so very sorry about this. I should have tried something less aggressive in order to make them leave. And now I'm having to ask you to come in on your weekend off. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, Alex. This is my job as the owner, and I don't mind it at all. And to me, I think you handled everything the best you could with those two. Had you just let those two continue fighting like they were, then they would have only been more trouble down the line for them and the rest of the pub. I think you did a very good thing today by trying to break things up.
Marina,
Also, I've recently had a lot going in my personal life, so it's kind of nice to be called into work during the weekend to get away from things at home. Now, it shouldn't be more than 10 more minutes until I arrive, so just go settle down and wait for me. Marina! Let me borrow some of your money right now. You told me that your pub was going to be doing great, which means you have to have some money right now, right? You should be able to lend me a couple thousand right now, right? A couple thousand? What is going on with you right now? Didn't you end up deleting my contact info after you told me that we were cutting ties to one another? Right now is not the time for that. Right now, my fiance Mac, he's in real need of some money to pay off and out for some court settlement. He got into a lot of trouble with the police as well, and things have been really rough for him. What did he end up doing that to get the police involved? I assume that him being a doctor meant he would never do anything to jeopardize his career, right? He didn't do anything wrong, though. This is all that whore's fault. What? This is literally the worst thing that could have happened. I had finally cut ties to a whore like yourself for good, yet having to speak to you again now over something as terrible as this is making me want to cry. What the hell happened? Can you give me a bit of a better explanation for what happened than that? Mac, alright, he went to a nightclub with some people as part of his job. And, well, there was this one whore that kept coming up to him over and over again for his contact info and asking him to go out for a night of fun with him. She heard about him being a doctor and was trying to turn him into an ADM, I'm sure. Her asking him to go out with her for the night is a part of the nightlife. Her job is to sell her body to men on streets and in clubs, so it makes sense to me. But when he left that club with the others, she continued to follow him, asking over and over again. And he said that she took him away from the rest of the group he was from work, and they had to go sit inside of this pub. He then told me that he got upset with her and that he had a bad fall that ended up breaking some windows and the glass doors there. Yet, instead of being helped up, the bartender went over telling both of him and the whore to get out before making things even a bigger deal. And then the police were called on him and everything went downhill. And then that whore told him that he had to pay her a settlement for what he'd done. What? Seriously, all those whores and strippers are the worst. For being such a brain-dead idiot, they are really stubborn when it comes to asking for money. And that one could tell Mac was a doctor and latched onto him without ever wanting to let go. She was the one that wouldn't leave him alone, and now he's being blamed for what she caused? You're kidding me. That customer was your fiancé of all people? What? That customer? Do you know something about what happened? The pub that your fiancé went and wrecked just so happened to be my pub. Are you kidding me? So then you should have the evidence we need to prove he's innocent, right? Go and have a look at your pub security cameras for me. I need you to go to the police and show them what he was doing was nothing wrong. There are a few cameras around the pub, but that's a bit. Huh? What kind of reaction is that? Are you going to tell me you're not helping me out here? Your little sister's fiancé was just framed as the bad guy and is now going to have to settle out of court over it. So you're not helping me because I cut ties with you? Why are you such a narrow-minded woman? That's not my reasoning for not helping out. I have no choice then, do I? I have to do this for the sake of helping my man. I'm going to be nice this time and take back what I said about wanting to cut ties to you, Marina. What? Are you sure? But I won't be inviting you to my wedding, and I won't ever let you come around my fiancé or his family. I can't tell him that I've actually had an older sister this whole time. But I'll be fine with secretly going out to see you in person every so often. In other words, you'll finally be able to come out and see your sister who had cut ties to you before again. That should be enough to make you happy, right? Just like you were saying before, I really am an embarrassment to you. Huh? Why are you stating the obvious right now? Just shut up and hurry up with those videotapes. I need you to help me prove my fiancé's innocence by bringing them to the police. The only evidence I have is of him being the guilty party in said chaos. What? I can show you what was all recorded inside my pub. But the only footage that was ever taken of them was of your fiancé coming into the store with the poor girl and hitting her while also breaking all my windows. Seems he was done having sex with her and came there looking for some more to drink. But that girl he was with was still in the mindset of doing her job and went up one of my employees asking him to go out with her sometime. And that started to really piss him off. So when my bartender went over to give him a warning about how loud the both of them were being, he blew up. If that's the kind of evidence you're wanting to see of your man, I can show you and the police it anytime. What are you going on about? That is completely different from what my fiancé told me. I'm just telling you what I'd seen on the security cameras in my pub. He might have just been telling you a lie to make himself look like the victim, but what I saw was him being anything but that. And after I had a talk with one of the few business owners in the area after that mess, they told me about how famous of a man he is. They call him Dr. Dirty, as he not only gets himself blackout drunk all the time, but he loves to make love to all kinds of whores out on the streets. You're wrong! You're completely wrong. My fiancé would never be doing any of those things. Mac is the type who hates all of those things, like whores and drinking. All that happened to him being taken advantage of and being framed and by that freaking whore. Let me ask you something. Why would a doctor be going to a nightclub as part of his job? It's not like he has any customers he's supposed to be entertaining, right? He's not the owner of a hospital or a clinic, so he's not going out to do business either. As far, he's too young for that. So don't tell me that you actually believe that your fiancé, who's a doctor, is going out at night to do business. Then, if he really did go out all by himself to be at that club and with a whore, there's no way he was having sex with her or getting blackout drunk. He's engaged to me right now, and something like that would be unfaithful of him. If anything, that whore was the one that forced him to get so drunk that he couldn't even understand what was right and wrong and forced herself back onto him. That has to be it. That's why she's the criminal here. From what everyone was telling me, your fiancé had been drinking way too much and was blowing numbers the police had never been seen before. If you'd like, I can go and have a word with the owner of the club he was at that night. After all, it's the same club I had been working up until recently. What? And thankfully, that woman he was with, the whore, also happens to be a friend of mine I made while working there. Actually, she's one of the girls I trained back in the day. And I was only the one that taught her the rights and wrongs of the job, and that she could never force herself onto anyone. So there is no way she was the one that forced him to drink all of that alcohol before taking him out to have sex. What? You know people like that as well? I worked for that place after all, so of course I'm going to know her. She's like a friend of mine now. And to me, she was the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life back when I had to train her and everything. She was way cuter than my own little sister, and that's why to this day, her and I are like family. Actually, she's like you, without the really crappy attitude. What? Now, having to hear that a total drunk like your fiancé may have forced himself onto her, as well as hit her afterwards at my pub? Kiara, your fiancé is a total piece of crap if I'm to be honest. The kind of man that doesn't know how to handle his alcohol, and is willing to cheat on his own fiancé with whores at a nightclub. You're wrong. Mac is not that kind of person. He was way too nice and is a very successful doctor. And both of his parents are very serious people, making them a very powerful family. He told me he hates women like that who are only out looking for sex. There's no way a man like him could be out going to those places at night. Then, would you like to have a talk with my friend from the club about that? She can tell you what kind of man your fiancé really is. What? I just got another couple of texts from her a second ago. And just like she was saying before, he really is a terrible man. He always seems to be getting himself drunk off the cheapest drinks and will then go around flirting with all kinds of women. No way. But the fact that he's a doctor does allow him to pay those kinds of that he plays around with handsomely. My friend told me that at times he'll order her a $2,000 of champagne, and when he's feeling a bit too lucky, $2,000 bottle of champagne? He's spending that kind of money on alcohol for other women besides me? And it sounds like he's going out to those places at least 2 to 3 times a week. So he has to be spending close to $5,000 a week then. And last month, it was my friend's birthday. And at her party, he came and spent close to $10,000 on all the women there. 10,000? You're lying, right? He's spending that kind of money on a whore like here? From everything she's told me about him so far, he seems to really like her. After all that time spending such money on her, he'd finally had enough of her just being a whore at that nightclub and wanted to make her something more to him. And that's why he chased her all the way over to my pub and became jealous when she started to talk with other men. But she wasn't going to work with him anymore when he began acting out like that and had to say no to all of his advances. That then led him to throwing a huge fit over it, which led to the inside of my store becoming one massive mess. What the hell? That is all the complete opposite of what Mac has been telling me. What's really the truth here? I should be able to believe him, right? I don't care who you can trust. Go ahead and keep on believing what he has to say. What? And of course, I'm going to believe who I want to in this mess. And since I have clear as day evidence proving that your fiancé came and ruined my store while also hurting my friend, I'm also going to take action against him now. In other words, I'm going to make sure he's punished for his actions. What do you mean by that? No way. Are you really going to ask that he pay you out of court as well too? Considering I don't have any parents around and my only piece of family I had left abandoned me and left me by myself, the pub where I put all my money into is the last thing I have. And that friend of mine who I once worked with is like family to me. In order to protect both of them, I have to do what I must. I'm not holding back, so you go and tell your fiancé to prepare himself for what comes next.
Marina, I just got a message from that problem customer that came in a couple of days ago. He said he'll pay the out-of-court settlement as long as we don't take any further actions against him. And it sounds like he's willing to pay us close to $30,000 for the damages.
Well, that's a lot more than I was asking him before.
I'm sure he wants to sweep all of this under the rug as soon as possible. Paying $30,000 for some damages to the store like broken windows and a broken door is quite a lot.
In recent times, doctors had to rely on their image more than their skills when it comes to their career. And I'm sure he doesn't want to be known by everyone for being a reckless man that goes out at night to sleep with whores and wreck businesses.
So, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop taking any further action against him?
Well, if he's going to be paying that much, I suppose I can stop. Having to carry this out more than this is a pain in the behind for me as well. So please, tell him we'll be taking the money and we won't be doing anything else. And when this is all said and done, expect to get a bonus from a part of that money.
Hell yeah! Thank you so freaking much, Marina. I'm going to get back to him right now about what you've agreed to.
You're so mean, Marina! Stealing $30,000 from my fiancé like that? Who the hell ever said I stole that from him? He was the one saying that he wanted to pay us that much for the damages, so I didn't do anything mean. But couldn't you have said no to his offer? You already know that he's my fiancé after all. You could have told him that him offering that much was more than enough and turned the money down. Yet instead, you just went and took that $30,000 from him. If he's really learned his lesson, then that $30,000 proves it. If he really felt bad for what he'd done, he should be giving me a lot more money for the troubles he'd caused. That's the kind of world us business people live in, Kiara. But because of that, I'm no longer going to have a wedding with him. Are you saying that you're fine with your cute little sister not being able to wear a wedding dress as she gets married? What? Mac told me that he no longer wants to have a wedding. Having all lost that money, he's no longer in the mood to celebrate us. So, he said that going to the courthouse and handing in the papers is more than enough for him. Well, that must mean he lost all of his savings after paying up. And what's even worse is recently he's been so cold to me. Ever since the police had gotten involved, he's been taking out all his frustrations out on me. The kind of Mac I knew is gone now. He's been drinking a ton more at home now, and he'll go on these drunk rampages hurting me. In other words, what's going on here is that he's showing you the true him before you guys have ever had to tie the knot. As a couple, you both have to be completely honest with one another, and him showing you the real Mac is a part of it. I never wanted to see him like this, though. Also today, after he'd gotten out of work, he went straight back to the red light district. I made him a really good dinner and all today waiting for him to come home as well. But he just texted me not too long ago that saying he was going to find some girls to relieve some stress with, so he doesn't need any dinner tonight. What? After all that happened, he's still going out and trouble everyone? He really is a pile of crap then. I don't want to be engaged to him anymore. I can't be married to a man like him. I want to go back to living with you again. Stop acting like that's ever going to happen. Wasn't it you that abandoned me not too long ago? You and I are no longer sisters nor family now. You are a complete random stranger now, so don't come crying to me. No way. Your only sister is crying her eyes out right now begging for help. Yet you're going to throw me away now? You don't regret wanting to do that to me? Not one bit. I have never, ever regretted any of the choices I've made up until now, and I'm not going to start regretting any of them today. What? The same thing applies to when you told me you wanted me out of your life, and I wanted to do that as you wanted, and leave you behind like you were never part of my life. Which is why I don't regret this one bit. And no matter what you try to say to me, I'm not going to go back to being part of your family ever again. No way. Now you have a good one, all right. Let's both do our best to live lives we won't ever have to regret. After that, Kiara never went and left her fiancé, and soon after he went and handed in their marriage papers to the courthouse. From there, they never had a wedding and never went on a honeymoon. As Mac told her, they needed to save all that money back up, and so they were forced to move in back with his parents. But that never stopped him from continuing to go out all of those nightclubs and pubs, while both of his parents told Kiara that as his wife, she had to continue supporting him as she had no other choice. And then proceeded to tell her that the next time he got into any trouble, it would be her fault and her mess to clean up for him. Sounds like recently those two get into fights all the time, whether that be at home or at Mac's hospital. And that led to their images slowly going sour in the rest of the community's eyes, as more and more people lose respect for them and walk away.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.